So, you want to add more power to your serve, right? More speed to your footwork. And how about adding a few more years to your time on the court? Well, you've come to the right place. We're about to unlock the science-backed secrets to becoming a better, healthier, and just plain smarter tennis player. Let's get into it.
First things first, what's the real secret to one of those blistering ace-winning serves? A stronger arm? A fancy new racket? The truth is, it's not about any single body part. A truly powerful serve comes from the entire kinetic chain, your legs, your core, your shoulders, all firing together. It's about building a complete tennis athlete from the ground up.
All right, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the core principles of smart training. Then we'll dive into what it takes to build a truly tennis-ready body. After that, I'm giving you a practical playbook for your pre- and post-match routines. And finally, we'll tackle one of the biggest roadblocks for any player, those nagging overuse injuries.
Okay, Section 1, Smart Training Principles. Now, to get this right, we're leaning on the expertise of the International Tennis Federation. Because any good game plan needs a solid foundation, and these aren't just good ideas, they're the scientific bedrock for any training that actually works.
The first principle to wrap your head around is adaptation. This is the why behind all that hard work. See, every time you train the right way, you're putting your body under a specific kind of stress, and its response? It rebuilds itself to be stronger and more efficient at that exact task. You're not just practicing, you are literally evolving your game.
And that leads us right into our next core idea, specificity. This one's huge. It basically means that a generic gym workout just isn't going to cut it. Your body adapts specifically to the stress you put on it. So if you want to get better at tennis, your training has got to mimic the unique movements and energy systems you use out on the court.
So let's make this real. Think about your own playing style for a second. Are you a baseliner, grinding out those super long points? Then your training has to focus on endurance and agility. Or maybe you're a serve and volleyer, trying to end points in a flash. Well, then you need to be training for explosive, raw power. Specificity is all about training for the player that you are.
And finally, we have recovery. And please do not skip over this one. Pushing yourself is key, but the real magic, that adaptation we talked about, that happens when you rest. Recovery isn't being lazy. It's an active, absolutely critical part of your training where your body actually repairs itself and gets stronger. If you skip it, you're not building up, you're just breaking down. Okay, with those principles locked in, let's get into the physical nuts and bolts. Section 2 is all about building the tennis body. We're talking about the 3 key pillars every single player needs: flexibility, strength, and power.
Let's bust a myth about something we all do: stretching. The secret isn't if you stretch, it's when and how. Before you play, you want to do dynamic stretching. Think controlled leg swings, arm circles. That gets the blood flowing and warms everything up. Static stretching, where you hold a pose for say 20 or 30 seconds, that's for after you play. That's what actually improves your long-term flexibility.
And here's why that timing is so incredibly important. Research from the IFTF shows that doing those long, static stretches right before a match can actually hurt your performance. We're talking a drop in muscular output of anywhere from 5 to 30%. That is a huge deal. So the big takeaway here? Save those deep, long holds for your cooldown. All right, enough theory. Let's turn all this knowledge into action. Section 3 is your practical playbook. These are routines you can start using literally today to boost your performance and your recovery.
One of your best friends for recovery is the foam roller. Seriously, here's a super quick and effective 5-minute routine. You're going to hit your IT band on your outer thigh, then roll to your quads on the front, then your glutes, move up to your upper back, and finish off with your calves. It's a simple flow that hits all the key spots that take a beating during a match.
So why does this simple little routine work so well? Well, foam rolling helps increase blood flow, which speeds up muscle recovery. It also helps release all that built-up tension in your muscles and fascia, which improves your flexibility. And all of that helps prevent those nagging overuse injuries, which, at the end of the day, makes you a much better, more resilient player.
And speaking of injuries, let's dive into our final section. It's time to fight back. We're going to tackle overuse injuries by zeroing in on one of the most famous, or maybe I should say infamous, culprits: tennis elbow.
Now for this, we're not messing around. We're going straight to the top. This guidance comes directly from the orthopedic experts at the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, so you know this is real, evidence-based advice you can trust.
Okay, the first key therapeutic exercise is a wrist extension stretch. So straighten your arm out, palm facing up. Now bend your wrist back, kind of like you're telling someone to stop. Use your other hand to apply some gentle pressure, just pulling that palm back towards you. You should feel a nice stretch in your forearm. Hold it for about 15 seconds and do that 5 times. Gentle is the key word here.
Now for balance, we've got to do the opposite motion. This is the wrist flexion stretch. Same idea. Arm is straight, but this time your palm is facing down. Let your wrist bend so your fingers point to the floor, and again, gently pull that hand towards your body. This targets the other muscle group, and that balance is so crucial for preventing injuries in the first place.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer, straight from the medical experts. Do not ignore pain. It's your body's alarm system. It's telling you something is wrong. Listening to that signal is the absolute best thing you can do to stop a small problem from turning into a huge one.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. Take an honest look at how you practice, how you prepare, and how you recover. Is your training routine actually building you up for success, or is it slowly, quietly breaking you down? The choice and the answer is in your hands. So go out there and train smart.